Okay? The dashboard that we are going to batteries were out.
What?
No. Took it out. No, it
Take 8 pictures for that.
Zoom in. What I want to talk about, or one of the things I am going to talk about, is why we introduced the dashboard. Okay? So we've got the why, what is it, when will it be available, and a bit around the detail. Then we're going to look at how you use it. So Nikki's already given us an indication, it's a point for finding information. There is an exercise. What we do have is a copy of December's dashboard for you all. Alright? But I'll talk you through the exercise, and at the time, Julie and Jeff will come round and hand out copies of your dashboard. Very important what it is not, okay? Because it's really important to distinguish between when you should use it and what you should not use it for. And then we've got a summary. So I'll just summarise the same points. So why have we got a dashboard? This time last year, there was a lot happening this time last year. It was probably about March, middle of March last year, when we introduced our People Forum. It's a people meeting that Nick and his team, along with HR and training, would get together. We were doing it back then every week, now got monthly, but it was a time when we discussed things like where people are as far as our grievances, disciplinaries, all that sort of thing. But it's also really big about how we develop our people and how we fill vacancies. Remember, over the last 12 months, and Mick pointed out, we've had quite a bit of movement, whether it's people coming in and leaving, or whether it's new positions. We had 8 vacancies on the Tesco's. We've had vacancies on multi-contracts. Multi-contracts have really grown this last 12 months. And what we found is, actually, we didn't really have a good way of identifying potential. Okay? We do, and you know, this room tells you how many people, in the last 12 to 18 months, how many people in this room were actually ISMs, right? But that is done through our local management. It's not done from a company point of view. So what we did have was the brag. Okay? So Jeff, at his heart, was tasked with looking at a way to improve the brag that we were using at the time. Much to his delight, it started off as a brag and turned into a dashboard. Okay? So a lot of what you see today is about work that Jeff did originally, from an operational point of view, bringing together our thoughts on what we felt we needed to be able to measure people against, and then probably about June of last year, June, July, Daniel from finance, he got involved, and he has actually produced the end result for us today. Okay, so what you see today is Jeff's ideas and a lot of Daniel's skill in it. He spent many, many hours producing this for us, and his department will still continue to have involvement. Also, there was a lot of concern at the time. Every time the likes of Liz, Mick, Paul went out into the field, people complaining too many reports. Okay? When we actually looked at it, we found that most of the reports had a need. But what we have done, and you'll know, certainly for the last 12 months, your input into things such as the tour report has greatly reduced. And that is because we have gone electronic. Where we can get factual information that's electronic, it makes our life easier, and therefore we don't need to have manual input. That's important when we look through the report. It tells us how the business is doing here and now. Okay? If you remember, when we had our conference in October, we put together a survey, and that's called the Pulse Survey. The idea behind the pulse is that if you take the pulse, you're taking it at that moment in time. It's no good taking the pulse now, going for a run and expect it to be the same as that. No? So pulse is talking about a picture of that moment in time. The dashboard will look at how you are doing, how our business is doing, how we are doing at that moment in time. Okay? So we went out and we had a look to see what other people were doing. We looked for the best in class. So we got experience from other businesses. We looked at a number of this. In our business now, we've got an awful lot of people who have experienced other businesses. So that gave us the opportunity to look at what was identified. All of you in this room will have seen the Tesco steering wheel, yes? Okay? That's where the dashboard, the idea behind the dashboard has come from. It's very visual, it's very colourful, and it gives you a snapshot in time. So what is it? An objective measure, factual information. Okay? There's no subjectivity. When we've used, for example, the brag in the past, since I've been in the company, over the last 4 years now, 4 years and more, since I've been in the company, I've seen the brag move from being a very sit down, complete, I know that this guy does this girl does this and this. And it's all been about what you know about them, your opinion. Okay? Opinion is a subjective feeling. What we're looking for is an objective measure. It measures progress against our BHAG. Everything we're doing, all our business strategies and the way we're moving forward is to get us to our BHAG, to our final goal. Okay? So that's what it's measuring. And it's a visual representation. Very clear when you see it. Some of you might have had glimpses of it before, but when you see it, it is very, very visual. And the more visual, the easier it hits home. Summary snapshot. A snapshot, that moment in time. It's been launched today. What we are issuing is December's details. I'll just go back one actually. So, the reason we're issuing December's is like your P&L, you will get your dashboard 3 weeks after the end of the previous month. And it measures the previous month, because we have to get all the data in. Same with finances, finance run it, and they will run it at the same time as they run the P&L. So you'll have a P&L and you will have your dashboard at the same time. Okay, so this was run, came out about the 15th, I think, it's one of the holidays. So it came out about the 15th, between the 15th and the 18th of January. So this is current. You would have, and in the future you would have had it 2 weeks earlier than this, but what we wanted to do today was launch it, talk you through it so you have a better understanding rather than just have it land on your table. This is really, really important. Okay? The cut-off is the 10th of the month. Right? I'll tell you now 2 of the things that are measured, 2 of the areas that are measured on the dashboard are periodic returns and housekeeping returns. Alright? So, listen to this bit very carefully, because I'm sure, in 3 months' time, somebody's going to miss the deadline and they're going to be on the phone saying, this dashboard isn't right. When it comes to the dashboard, okay, it is run once. It takes a full day to run it. It will not be run a second time, and it is not retrospective. In other words, it is that moment in time, and that is it. You won't get, in March, you won't be rerunning it, and the data, Sophie's report, if you send in your data, or if you send in housekeeping sheets from August last year, she will update the report, yes? That will not happen when it comes to the dashboard. The information has to be in with Sophie by the 10th of the month. That will give her 2 days to get it on the system. And regardless of what the view is, Sophie puts onto the system the timesheet, with the exception of the Monday, because of the weekend, but she puts her housekeeper sheets on the system the same day she gets them. Okay? So if you get them, it's giving you a little bit of flexibility there. Getting it in for the 10th, you've got 2 days, and she will get that on the system. Okay? And that is it. If it's not in by the 10th, it will not go on the dashboard. It won't go next month, it won't go the following month, it will not go on the dashboard at all. Okay? It's really important that you get that. To be fair, looking at the dashboard that you've got at the moment, most of you are doing it. Okay? But please just make sure that you keep that in mind. It will be delivered via email, and we're not sure how it's actually going to land with you initially. It might just turn up with your P&L, or it might go via the GCs and get cascaded down. Right? But it will come at the same time as your P&L, and you can use the two in conjunction. You can use your P&L and your dashboard for measuring performance. The elements we've chosen are all around pillars, so they measure the pillars. And the reason they measure, do you know why they measure the pillars? Any idea why they measure the pillars? Absolutely. The pillars, everything we do should fall into one of the 5 pillars, and if it does, then it's moving us towards OBMAC. So that's all we're concentrating on at the moment, is ensuring that we get to OBMAC through our strategic pillars. Everybody okay so far? This bit you're not going to like. Okay, the dashboard uses the normal traffic light system. Green, well actually, see, traffic lights, the bright system, because there is an element of blue in there in some of the categories. It's red, amber, green, blue. There's a bit of red in there, as you'll see as we go through, a bit of red. In some cases, in some areas, actually you've only got the choice of red or green. Okay? You will find if it impacts financially on the business, you've got a choice, red or green. Right? Anything that will incur any cost at all to the business will make that area red. So be prepared when you look at it. It's very pretty, because I like red. As a colour, it's very pretty, okay? But actually, we're not very here. We all agree. The expectations are high, right? And as you talk, as you go through it, and what I'd like you to do, if you do have any questions, great, but keep them to the end. And the reason I say that is that what you might find is you have a question come up and it's answered a little bit later on. Hopefully, the explanation and the presentation itself will cover off all your questions. Okay? So, dashboard. Okay? It's broken down into it covers all 5 pillars, but it's broken down into 4 quarters. So you've got behaviour, you've got people, clean and growth put together, because in the main, the only way that we have a day-to-day impact from growing our business is through gaining internal business. Okay? And that is through doing our job properly. Cost. Wages, penalty. That is a real live dashboard. Okay?